You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're on to Democracy and the Rule of Law here on Galaxy Television. The clip you just saw there now was the clip of the lawmakers and also the people from the Nigerian telecommunications company, the presentation they made before the passage of the e-transmission of results. And but recently, just last week, INEC came out to say that subjecting us to get the approval of the NCC is unconstitutional, that it flouts Section 52, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act as amended. Gentlemen, how would you want to describe this? INEC is saying that according to law, they are not bound by any body. They can't subject the conduct of their election to anybody. They say they can transmit this election electronically. Why is the National Assembly? Because the director of the NCC made a presentation, said you cannot fully guarantee the safety of transmitting election and that it's not safe from hackers. So because of that, they have asked INEC to subject their approval. They have subject the approval of INEC to listening to what the NCC is saying. What do you make of this, Barrister?
Yeah, if you look at the Constitution,
okay,
the Constitution empowers INEC to conduct elections,
yes,
and make regulation, not just conducting elections. People limit INEC powers to conducting elections after every 4 years, or as the case might be. INEC also have the power by the Constitution to make regulations on how to conduct these elections. Okay. Now, in the powers and the letters of the law that empower INEC to do so, it did not subsume INEC power to the approval of any other institution in Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay. And remember, the Electoral Act is an act of the National Assembly. Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know why they are telling INEC to go and have this approval, have that approval, when you are supposed to focus on the Electoral Act and get it amended to that effect, or whatever it is you want INEC to marry together with conducting election. You need to amend the Act and possibly the Constitution to reflect that, other than just issuing INEC a directive. Go and, this is what you must go and do. It's wrong, it's unconstitutional. Okay? So if there are dangers or perceived dangers in that transmission process, perhaps the NCC can collaborate with INEC, okay, to find a way to make it impossible for hackers to get into the system. Not because by law, INEC is supposed to give directive to whoever institution that is coming around election management.
Yes.
That is why it's INEC that awards the contract for consultants. INEC gets the returning officers. INEC gets the NYSC ad hoc staff, pay them and all that. INEC does everything.
Even the police, they work with INEC.
Yes, you understand.
Yes.
So it's INEC that gives the directive. So it's not the NCC or the National Assembly that will not. So they shouldn't be turning the law upside down. These things are very clear. Okay, you cannot tell INEC what to do on a particular issue or activity that they have been empowered by the law to do.
Okay, Barrister James, do you think with this decision that INEC is truly independent?
Exactly, I was coming there. The name of INEC is Independent National Electoral. As immediately the law has been passed on INEC, even the Speaker or the Senate President cannot give that directive on INEC.
He cannot.
He can't. It's illegal. That directive is illegal. Now, INEC is, like he said, is a creation of the law. How can INEC now be subject to NCC? Who definitely, you are not telling us that the president will just direct INEC to do X, Y, Z. Meanwhile, INEC is supposed to be independent, not listening to anybody. By going to NCC, who is just a department of the executive, that means you are belittling the powers of INEC. Now INEC is no more independent. Like he said, whatever INEC wants to do, if the House or the Senate or the National Assembly feels that these things will not work, let them amend the law and say, yes, for transmission, INEC must revert to NCC. If that's the law, then so be it. But as it is today, it is INEC's prerogative. You cannot subject them to NCC. And if they say they can do it, all well and good. The law has given them the power to conduct elections. Okay. So you can't give them directives, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, Barrister Evans. INEC was saying that rather than listen or get the approval of NCC, that the body will rather invoke its constitutional power to impose the duty on the NCC
exactly
over the electronic.
That's what he said.
That is what the law is.
That's the law.
Okay? It is INEC that we call NCC.
I say, come and work with us.
This is
what we want.
Yes. We want to transmit electronically. We know that there are hazards to this link. Now, let us work together and make sure we build a strong firewall.
Okay.
That will repress every hacker from getting into the system. Because this whole thing is just about protecting the sanctity of our electoral process against the politicians. The ravens here, the fears here, the rodents here are the politicians who would rather the system, who would rather they win or let the system crumble. You understand? Yes. So INEC is on the right track as far as I'm concerned. I think they have the best legal advice on this issue. They are on the right track. They should insist, because by the time you allow the floodgates, any institution in the future will be called to tell INEC what to do.
Exactly. And NCC, the politicians also as well.
The INEC is like the judiciary. It should be sacred. Whenever you are given a duty to perform as an umpire, whether in a football match, whether in a game, whether in government, you must be careful. You must be careful. And that is why if you look at the Constitution clearly carve it out as independent. Because there is no way it can function effectively without independence. That is also the way the Constitution carve out the judiciary. And say the judiciary should be independent.
Even though they are being polluted.
Yes, they are polluted because their funds, they don't collect it directly. So the problem judiciary is trapped in now is what we are trying to drag the INEC into. Because before you know it now, the NCC should work with them. Before you know it now, one other institution, maybe they'll say the Ministry for Finance should not release money to INEC until it ensures that NCC is working together. I'm just telling you, it might happen.
Yes, because the question I even wanted to ask is, peradventure, INEC insists, their insistence that they are going to go ahead with this transmission of election results. If the National Assembly invites them and decide to maybe sanction them for going against what they have passed,
can the National Assembly sanction INEC?
Well,
do they have the powers to sanction
this particular set of NAS members? Most of the bills that they have passed that we call controversial, what has happened after they come out with this thing and they go ahead, and you see that they will come, by the time they resume now, the matter will be presented that this is what INEC is saying, and they will send another delegation, maybe INEC committee, to meet with INEC, to interface with them on the present INEC decision. So what do you make of that?
Like my colleague has said, INEC has to stand their ground on the law. The functions of the National Assembly is oversight. So the only way they can harm INEC is by probably trying to create a quick law.
An approval of their budget.
Well, their budget.
If you look at it, that's
where the power is. Yes. But you see, the issue of budgets with guys in National Assembly, they don't touch, because they also probably, they have ways of making money from there too. So I don't think they want. But what I'm saying is this: INEC needs to prove to us that they understand the powers the Constitution has given them, and therefore, the only way they can shift the ground is the National Assembly amending that power. Anything short of that, they cannot act by instruction. Once that happens, like he says, the finance minister will say, okay, we cannot release your money until you go and see the Attorney General. then you are no more independent.
Okay.
Because you are here to, you are supposed to be an unbiased umpire. And any little thing that shows that you are wavering, then any election you conduct becomes suspect. So importantly, they should stand their ground. They should.
I wanted to say something. Just maybe we say briefly.
Yeah, I think INEC is on the right track. Whichever way you look at it from the standpoint of law, they have not derailed. It is the National Assembly and the NCC that are out of place in this whole conversation. And INEC should make sure that they stand their ground. And ultimately, somebody out there might also go to court. And then get an order to restrain the National Assembly and the NCC from interfering with the powers that is constitutionally given to the Independent National Electoral Commission.
If they want to change, let them amend the constitution. That's the only power they have.
That's the only power they have. And I don't know why they are not doing that.